Özmert, the brave man of honor. It's better to have the sparrow in your hand than the pigeon on the roof. That's one thing you can learn from this story. I am Pero, and I tell you more aspects to learn from this Russian folk tale. It was brought to our Bavarian homeland and updated a little bit. Immerse yourself and let yourself be surprised. Throughout the summer, it was a quite comfortable life for a hare on the fields, but in the winter, he almost died of hunger, and one of them, named Özmert, often stole some oats from the farmer that was laying in the attic. One time he met a bunch of other bunnies that were stuffing their faces with food. "Hello, where do you come from?" they asked. "Well, I'm from the Poldy meadows, but there is nothing to eat anymore. My name is Özmert." That doesn't sound very Bavarian. No, in fact, it's Turkish. In a nutshell, I'm from here. My father moved here because Turkey was too dry. He is a so-called climate migrant. And the area he is from was originally Persian territory, then Greek, and then Roman, like we here are back in the days, and then Byzantic, then Arabian, and in the end Ottoman. My mom is from northern Spain, where it was also very dry. There is a real drought going on, and her home used to be Iberian, then Roman, then West Gothic and Arabian. All right, that's enough for information for now, say the bunnies. We are already dizzy with all the historical information you have provided us with. Being fed and stuffed is more valuable than a headache. You are right, because there is not much about heritage one can be proud of. But you know what? I'm proud of myself because I have the biggest whiskers, the fastest paws, and the sharpest teeth, and I don't know fear. He is a huge bragger, complained the hares, and they relay the nonsense to the raven the next day. It was a female raven. In Germany, you would be required to add a gender at this point. As always, the raven is looking for the show of Özmert and finds him at a tree stump. She charges at him from the side and comes to a stop 5 centimeters in front of him. "Good Lord, you scared me," said Özmert angrily. "You see," responds the raven, "you do know fear. My name is Vicky, and now you will tell me what you told the other bunnies about yourself." "Oh, well," says the hare suspiciously, "I said that I have the biggest whiskers, the fastest paws, and the sharpest teeth, and that I don't know fear." Wow, and you really felt the need to brag about that? All the historical background, the paws, the teeth, and that you are superior over all the other hares. Do you really need to do that? Are you aware that this sort of competitive thinking is outdated? And do you know that it will cause the others to dislike you and build a wall that you can't overcome once built? And by the way, believe me, when I say that each one of them has a talent. One has particularly good ears, the other can tell exciting stories, the other one can quickly dig a new hole, another can do pretty great somersaults in midair, and so on. But you will not be part of any of that when you act so arrogantly. You should not come at me like that. Well, now I think about it, you're right. It feels much better to be included within society. But you must admit, there are so many of them walking around with no talent of any kind, right? They simply just haven't found their talent yet. But in cases like that, it would be better to help and encourage them to find it. Figure it out with them. Don't act like you know it all. As long as you are alive, you are able to explore new skills or talents. Vicky hops away after finding something interesting on the floor. She's so distracted that she doesn't realize the 3 dogs are approaching to attack her. Vicky got attacked from all sides and can barely defend herself. The dogs pull out her feathers and do quite some damage to her. Özmert doesn't think twice and runs to a nearby hill, gets on 2 feet and waves at the dogs to catch their attention. He intends to provoke the attackers, which worked out quite well. They let go of Vicky and chase after Özmert, since a hare has much more meat, and all in all it is better prey for the 3 dogs than the raven. Özmert runs as fast as possible, throws some hooks in the midair and disappears into the den. 4 days later, he meets Vicky, who is slowly recovering after the attack, and she says, "Much respect, Özmert, you saved my life. You are in fact very brave." "It was my pleasure. I don't know fear, but when I saw the teeth of these wild beasts, I didn't think about my courage. I thought about you, and I felt sorry, and I knew I had to do something." "Yes, like I said, you don't have to brag about your courage because you can demonstrate it when needed. You should be prouder of your compassion for others. This, in fact, is huge. And from now on, you can wear your name with pride. Özmert, the real man of honor." This is the exact meaning of Özmert. Every first name has a meaning. The Latin meaning of man of honor is Sebastian, by the way. And in Bavarian, we would call him Wastel.